In this video, I want to take a look at one of the most important files in your theme, and that is functions.php. Now, not that long ago, a lot of themes didn't even have this file, but nowadays it's almost becoming indispensable, and here's why. It does three main things. First of all, it enables WordPress features that aren't enabled by default, things like featured images, menus, those sorts of things. Then it allows you to define custom functions, in particular custom template tags that you can reuse again and again in your template files. And finally, a very common thing that people are doing is creating theme option pages in the admin area. This makes it easy for users to enter certain kinds of data, like maybe even the name of their company, and you can reuse it over and over again in the theme, but they only enter it once. It gives them an interface. I'm going to cover this in a separate video, so let's focus on these first two. Enabling WordPress features, first of all. I'm taking a look at the functions file of the default WordPress theme. Now, they've wrapped a whole lot of these into one single function, but you can do these individually as you need to. In this case, we're calling up the visual editor theme style. It means we can style the visual editor the way we want. Here, we're adding support for post formats. If we didn't do this, the format box wouldn't appear under posts. Then we just tell it which formats we want and so on. Here, we're adding support for post thumbnails, or better known as featured images, automatic RSS feed links. Again, WordPress wouldn't do any of this if we didn't add in the support for it in here. Now, our second key use was creating custom functions, and I've taken one of those out of the default theme just to make it easier for you to see. This function is called 2010 posted on, and what it's going to do is find the date and the author information for the particular post and display it. And we're creating this in the functions file, and it actually appears on the site over here underneath the title, posted on by the author. So that's the function we're using, the function right here, and here's where we use it. Loop-single, so this is finding the information for a single post. We call our function right in here. We call it again for category pages where we're showing multiple posts. We just say 2010 posted on, and it runs through that function for us. Notice what we're doing here. We're giving it a different class name so we can style it differently, but it's exactly the same function. We can use it over and over again. So you can see the power of the functions.php file. I wanted to mention that there are several ways in which we bring in functions that we've created. First of all, there are ones like that 2010 posted on. We create it, and it sits there waiting for us to use it. Maybe we don't use it at all, but it can be used anywhere whenever we want to. Then there are other types of functions that are created and then inserted into core WordPress processes. This is using something called hooks, and I'm going to talk about hooks more in another video, but let's briefly look at them here. I've separated some out from our default theme functions.php file just so it's easier to see. So we've finished a function right here. This is the end of the function here, and what we do is we add an action, and we tell it plug it into the widgets in it, which is a place in the core where we can put in some functions. And here's the function to put in, 2010 widgets in it, which is what this is the end of right here. Another example, here's a function that we create called remove recent comment styles. We do it by adding a filter. That's what the function's going to do. A filter is a type of hook. Then this entire function is added as another hook, another type of thing called an action hook. It's added again into the widget init area. This is like in the stream of WordPress. This is a point at which you can add functions. So we're going to say at this point, add the following function right there. So those are the way we use hooks in a functions.php file, another way to add functionality to WordPress.